Alright, Ellie and Tom. Hey man, it's the end of the day. Hey, I gotta have a little water. Good fresh bottle of water. But what we did today when I got home from work was go ahead and get the irrigation system in. While I was at it, I procrastinated. There's so much stuff going on. I decided to I needed to do some other things to the beds and the irrigation system. So there's other stories you're going to hear along the way about some of the materials I'm using, and I'll go back to an earlier video on doing some rooted cuttings, and I'm going to show you, the finished propagation houses or little humidity chamber finished product, lots of stuff. I'm not a professional with this. As you can see, just having a lot of fun here. Hope you learned something from the video. The whole goal of the video was to show you how I put in this little drip system in my raised beds. But one thing led to another, and I had to deal with my jacuzzi is now all slimed up from all this rain. It's overflowed, and we had to shock it, and then the railroad spike story and all this stuff you're about to hear. So I hope you enjoy it. This is kind of my style. I'm avant-garde, as you can see, all my stuff. I do a lot of art, with crap. Then I turn it into gold that I like. My wife doesn't always like it, but I do try to keep trash from coming into the house. I'm trying to keep it clean. I probably have too much junk around here, too many books. I'm actually published on a few publications, so, I'm just like eclectic. I'm the eclectic guy. I like to consider myself the bourgeois landscaper, but I'm not a liberal. I'm a libertarian, more so than anything else, politically, because there is a political thing that comes up in here. And I don't know if politics enters into any of y'all's feelings. I don't think it should. I wish our leaders were better. I think they're terrible right now. I think they've divided our country. Some of my songs that I write will point that out. Going off. Other songs, I wish I could just write songs about, like, Caribbean Dream. Where, it's your dream. And Nyashar has helped me. I want to thank him. He's a great YouTube guy who will teach you about lucid dreaming, which is what I'm trying to practice doing lately. So that everything I do almost seems like the most wonderful dream. My whole life will just be a beautiful dream. It's not hard. Everything's wonderful. And I'm just loving life and doing what I do. My daughter's birthday's tomorrow, and she's the girl from Bad Driver who just got her driver's license about 2 years ago. We held her back. She finally got it. She's a great driver, but her birthday's tomorrow, so I got something special planned for her. But anyway, you guys have a great evening. Tommy Cowett, The Real Alien Tom. Please watch the following episode. This is the episode. The rest of this, it's about putting in an irrigation system and a lot more. And please comment below if you like this. If you have any comments, say, Tommy, shut up. I hate you. You're a terrible person. Do it. It's not going to hurt my feelings. I'm just trying to help anybody who wants to know what I know, if I have anything, if I know any more than anybody else. I'll tell you what, I've eaten a lot of greens out of my garden and loved every minute of it. And great food, great nutrition. So anyway, check out the video and comment if you have anything to comment on. Alright, here it goes. Alright, The Real Alien Tom back with you, and I am such a procrastinator when it comes to doing things. I'm trying to prepare these beds for seeding and show you a little bit about this drip system that's going in. But I just came across something pretty. It happens all the time here at my property. We have 2 bodies of water to deal with. One is a retention pond, and we've had about, what, 6 to 8 inches of rain in the last week. And look what's happening here. You see a little bit of that green tint? This just formed like within the last day, like overnight. I'm going to show you another body of water that I hold very precious. It's right behind me, my jacuzzi. Okay, it turned green too. As you can see, the water is overflowing. The cap for the filter is floating around in there. It wants to surface like a boat. You can see even like a film on the top. So what I do in this situation, you'll be amazed by this. I'll shock the pool. It's actually bubbling right now. The water's running, and I only put this is about a 750-gallon jacuzzi. It's about a 12-seater. Anyway, what I'm going to do is just sprinkle a little bit of this right there. This is chlorine, basically. It's a pretty heavy-duty chlorine product. We don't get in it till maybe a couple days after this has been done. Get it in front of these jets where everything's floating around. That's enough. Okay, let's come back in 10 minutes and see what that looks like. All right, check it back. This is the stuff. It is the stuff. Santa Spa, yes. Hey folks, all right, as far as a humidity chamber I mentioned in the video for propagating wood cuttings earlier, I wanted to tell you what I've done. I got this normal Coke crate from behind a BP station, actually. It was given to me. I did not steal it. Somebody else may have stolen it, but I didn't. Anyway, making a simple hoop house out of this tray. So you can see that. This is going to be a humidity. This is some fence material I have around. This is the wire that weaves through the bottom of a chain link fence, and you can buy this in big rolls from Home Depot. It's not very expensive, but pretty heavy gauge, and basically what I'm doing is putting it in about like that. Now all I'm using over the top is a white bag, a white trash bag. I'm going to put that whole thing in that white trash bag. You want white. You don't want too much of the high radiant heat to get in, or UVs that are really above. This is going to cut back on some of the UVs and protect the tender cuttings. So go with white. Don't use black. Go with white on that. Okay, and I'll show you the finished product here in a moment, and then we'll get on to the irrigation and back to the irrigation and seeding deal. Okay, bye. And voila, there you have it, the humidity chamber. You can even look in here. It's like a mini greenhouse. I wish I could just walk around in there. Check out the Christmas tree farm. But these are Black Dragon Cryptomeria, some of my favorite trees, and they will become bonsai hopefully one day. And this is a really cool variegated hydrangea I thought I'd throw in. And actually in the back there I threw in some osmanthus. These variegated osmanthus plants was given to me, and I'm propagating about 10 cuttings off of her. Alright, talk to you soon. Now I'm just mixing it up a little bit. See what happens here. It's amazing. Just give me about 10 minutes. Alright, Billy and Tom procrastinating as usual. Trying to get the seeding job and the irrigation job done. What I'm doing right now, I want to show you something kind of interesting. This is a supply line. It's a 1/2-inch pipe. You can see that there. That's the fresh new little humidity chamber for the cuttings in part of the backyard nursery. I want to show you what I've got. This is what I've been doing for a long time. This is a nice drip system, and I could turn this on and off as I want, and this is coming off that drip emitter right off the 1/2-inch line. And look what I got here in the ground. That's a railroad spike. And I've got an interesting procrastination story. I'm running this on up the bed just to hold this in place, because we're going to be putting some tees and getting this little drip ring ready to go. And as you can see, this is what the plan is, have these little drip emitters like that installed along the way. I'll have about 12 of them in each bed. These beds are approximately the same size, but let's go to this, see the sledgehammer. These are railroad spikes, and I've got an interesting story for you. I was just going to use just your plain sod staples to put this in and hold it in place where I want it, right here. But I got to tell you a story, and this is how I do this. I could probably do it with one hand. And all I'm going to do, that little railroad spike's perfect to hold that hose in place like that. So I'm going to run that all the way up, and you'll see what I'm doing. Let me show you something about these railroad spikes. These railroad spikes they're iron. They were made probably, who knows, 100 years ago. And, you know what they comment with the economy the way it is right now. This is a terrible story. It's a sad story for kids. Got a nice boy in the neighborhood, 16 years old, got his driver's license. Well, he was told about a pile of these babies. I mean, I'm talking about a pile. I'm talking something almost the size of a dump truck. I mean, pile. Probably weighs 100, 200 tons of steel, good steel, that could be recycled, melted down, and put back into the steel industry. And these railroad spikes are back in the woods, probably about, you know, could be, the way they described it, it's 1,000 feet, you know, half a mile, third of a mile off the beaten track. So what they would do is go down there, and for years, these kids, if they needed some extra money for summer, they knew they could take a bucket down there anyway, fill that bucket up with railroad spikes, bring it back home, take it to a recycle center, scrap iron place, and sell it by the pound and make them some money. It was hard work. You talking about lugging that kind of weight? Just a few years ago, here in North Carolina, I guess the General Assembly, which was really all Democrat at the time, you had Beverly Perdue and the governorship, and it was, I'm not blaming it on any party, but it was just recently, in the, you know, during their regime, this hurt these kids. It hurt these kids because they could no longer rely on this to go get it. Now they have banned the sale of anything railroad to recycle houses for steel. Let me show you what this boy did. He brought me, well, he needed to store them overnight. I don't know if you can see that. This is a garbage can, half full. I think that garbage can weighs about 400 pounds. So he worked his tail off to drag all these railroad spikes, iron out of the woods, got them in his parents' car, brought him here and dropped him off, and I offered him the garbage can for the night to store him. He came back, picked him up the next day, and took him to the recycle place, thinking he was probably going to make $100 for this. That's what it's worth. He got there and they said, we don't take any railroad material. A law was just recently passed, you know, that will not accept it anymore. So he just said, Tommy, I need a place to put it, and I got it, and I'm trying to think of what to do with it. So hey, what a better way. You know, if they're not going to allow it in the recycle. I've found other uses for these, and they're kind of cool, you know. They're heavy. Man, that thing weighs about a half a pound, maybe a quarter pound, just one. And it's good steel. It's not the crap you get from China. But I just thought I'd share that with you as I procrastinate to get my beds seeded and get the irrigation system in. Things are going good. I got sidetracked a little bit, you know. Hey, I've got one cucumber left. I've got a lot of blooms, and I've seen a lot of bees, but I've got disease, baby. I got disease. There's a nice cucumber. That's probably the last one, and I'll rip this down. I gotta admit, I've already started planting some beans behind in the background of the bed, grow up on that fence, and they'll replace these vines. Those are the good spring beans and peas, sweet peas, that'll be growing up in the background of my greens. But, okay, here's my irrigation stuff, and we'll show you. Just bear with me. I hope you're enjoying this as much as I am. I'm just blowing off some steam after work. All right. All right. The real alien Tom back with you. Woo! Sweating here in the garden. Just love to do it. It's great exercise. Great way to burn off some steam at the end of the day. Put on your favorite punk rock band and roll. But want to get back to the irrigation system now. Okay. I'm going to show you a couple of parts. This stuff is so easy to do. As I've mentioned, I'm just going to run my little line up. This is a supply line. It's coming from a faucet. And I can put that on a timer. And this stuff is compression fittings. These are just slip-on. You don't need to glue it or anything. This is a T1 type that I buy from a particular vendor, and this is what you could buy also from the same vendor. That's the same type of T. It's going to work. This half-inch line, supply line, whether it be brown, this is a little bit stronger. This supply line here, it's a little more rigid. It's a higher tempered. And then I've got this supply line here for the ring. It's in the bed, and as you can see, I've already installed emitters. And the way I did that was with this little tool. It's a tool that here's where I punctured a hole. Very simple. There were others right the same hole. I'm not even going to try, but you would puncture this down, and as you can see, it pokes a hole. This one's really good because if you look at the bottom, it's not going to go all the way to the bottom and puncture the bottom of the tube. And these little tools are great. I've had pink ones before. This is the emitter that I'm installing. You basically, I could probably do this with one hand. Stick that in there. This little end, that goes, that's where the water comes out, and a little tube can actually be, the little tubes can be installed on them. And basically, I don't even need to hold that, do I, to get it to go in. You get the idea, though. I can't hear it snap. You know what? Probably should do that with two hands. No problem, but you get the idea. And I do space them out. Basically, this is a compression fitting that's going to come up here. And then it'll supply this line, and then I'll have another tube that fits there. So this comes up at a 90-degree angle, and that will fit there, and then another little piece of pipe will go. Here's the finished product up here on the other bed. So you see that's done. All I need to do is stake it down with my railroad spikes, and I'll have it. And maybe the railroad spikes themselves are going to add a little bit of iron to the soil. Not really sure that helps. I've been experimenting with what's going on with my radio. With that little iron skillet there, getting water and watering my plants with it, thinking I'm going to get a little iron out of it, and I think I do. Actually, okay. Well, we'll return here in a minute when we start seeding these beds, if we get around to it today. Tommy is really procrastinating lately. Alright, folks. Hey, finishing up the irrigation system, the drip system video with all the procrastination and all the diversions and everything. I'm going to put off the seeding episode till next time, because that is a lot of stuff. I want to talk about different styles of seeding, but I want to also show you, you probably saw the jacuzzi about 20 minutes ago Now you can actually see the bottom. It was green. Now it's like a lime green. This was serious. This was one of the worst. And there's probably another 200 gallons in there that I wasn't expecting. It's overflowing. You can actually see the bottom now with the shock that we did. Jacuzzis are a real pain, but man, they are so enjoyable, especially if you're in the landscape business. And for about the last 13 years, I've just enjoyed coming home and getting in that jacuzzi, and I'd soak for hours. But let me show you what I got going on here with the irrigation system. I'm testing it now. This is the old system I had, and this is something that I could turn on and off right here. That's fine. It's working good. Turn it off. It's gone. Okay. I don't like the surface water anymore. It's causing diseases on my tomato plants and my cucumbers now. All the rain we've had this year has been a drip disease. I still have a few tomatoes hanging on. I've got some beans planted in the back and peas. But this is basically it. I'm still going to use probably some more railroad spikes or sod. But see how I put the railroad spikes in, everything. That guy's attached here on a little wire. I don't know if you can see this. It's on a supply line. And then here's your typical thing. This is running. You see that up close. It's just going to be a drip. All this is just being a drip emitter. Oh, got a little leak here. Just got to tighten up that line right there. Oh, I see it. It's coming out right there. It's just a compression fitting, so it's just your strength that pushes it in. So that's it. And gosh, I hope we don't hear a plane crash. But Alien Tom signing out. That's the drip system. I hope you learned something from it. If not, you could post below and I'll try to help. I've been putting in irrigation systems like this for years and years. And I think it turned out what I wanted. Now I'll be able to water from below on my raised beds and my big buckets. Okay, but anyway, I'm done for the day. I'll get back to you with another video on my seeding of the veggies. And we'll go from there. Alien Tom signing out, and I just heard the dinner bell ring. So I'm out. Have a great one. Bye-bye.